For decades, the standard macroeconomic assumption relied on a simple equation. Total output is a function of variables for capital and labor, multiplied by technological progress. The math dictates that when technological advancements increase productivity, the demand for human labor naturally rises alongside it. But this equation ignores the physical reality of the factory floor. It assumes machines only make humans faster, missing the fact that technology often replaces human activities entirely. When we look at the United States economy after 1987, this foundational rule completely falls apart. Assuming that innovation automatically lifts labor demand obscures the actual mechanics of modern automation. We need a different framework to diagnose the data. Historically, the old model held up. 19th century agricultural automation displaced farmhands, but rapid productivity gains eventually grew overall labor demand. By the early 20th century, combustion engine mechanization continued this trend. Technology changed the work, but workers benefited from the output. But modern data tells a different story. Starting in 1987, United States wage bill growth diverges completely from productivity growth. This sudden economic stagnation occurred exactly as software-driven industrial automation and advanced robotics accelerated across the entire economy. Why did a century of mechanization enrich the workforce, while modern automation has caused labor demand to flatline? Economists Darren Acemoglu and Pasquale Restrepo propose discarding the old variables in favor of a more granular unit of production, the task. Producing any good, whether it's a shirt or a software platform, requires completing a specific sequence of tasks, ranging from design and assembly to accounting and sales. This diagram maps those activities onto a normalized continuum. The critical threshold is the boundary labeled I. Tasks below this point are automated and allocated to capital, while tasks above it require human labor. Because humans retain a comparative advantage in the higher index tasks, the allocation of work becomes a zero-sum territorial struggle between capital and labor. In this model, automation is simply a geometric shift. The boundary I moves to the right as capital evicts humans from previously held tasks. This is the displacement effect. By itself, it strictly reduces labor's share of value added. But there is a counterforce. The introduction of entirely new, complex tasks pushes the upper boundary, N, to the right. This is the reinstatement effect. Roles that never existed before, like database architecture or logistics analysis, reinstate labor back into the production process. We can express this balance mathematically. The governing parameter in this equation is gamma, which represents the task content of production. Total labor demand is not an automatic byproduct of progress. It is the net result of this constant tug-of-war between displacement pushing from the left and reinstatement expanding to the right. There is a third variable at play, the productivity effect. When automation drastically cheapens production, it expands the overall economic pie, indirectly increasing the demand for the remaining non-automated tasks. But this dividend is not guaranteed. The economy frequently falls into the trap of so-so technologies, automation that displaces workers but is only marginally cheaper or better than human labor. Consider low-quality automated customer service phone menus or basic AI applications that eliminate jobs without substantially boosting output. A surge in so-so technology triggers the displacement effect without a strong enough productivity dividend to create replacement demand. It shrinks labor's slice of the pie without making the pie significantly larger. From 1947 to 1987, the wage bill and productivity climbed together. To understand why, we isolate shifts in task content. Despite massive automation, the red line showing worker displacement is perfectly offset by the rising blue line representing new task creation. That blue reinstatement line tracks the massive creation of clerical and engineering roles that rapidly absorbed displaced workers. From 1947 to 1987, technology consistently reinvented labor's purpose, maintaining a perfectly balanced task content of production. Now look at the data starting in 1987. The mechanism breaks. There is a steep plunge in the red displacement line, largely driven by the adoption of industrial robotics and the eradication of routine jobs. But displacement alone isn't the problem. The true culprit is not the blue reinstatement line flattens out, dragging the net task content deep into negative territory. The United States economy experienced a severe deceleration in the creation of new tasks, shifting the overall structure of production heavily against human labor. Coupled with anemic overall productivity growth during these exact same decades, this perfectly matches the fingerprint of widespread so-so technology adoption. Innovation does not automatically guarantee shared prosperity. If tax policies and corporate strategies solely prioritize automating old tasks over inventing highly productive new roles for humans, labor demand will permanently separate from economic growth.